Now we are going to move on to Biden's immigration executive orders, and this might be where me and Shannon get into an argument because I want to use this as a jumping off point regarding whether or not African Americans should be pro or anti-immigration.
Okay.
So Joe Biden, and by the way, I'm not even sure you can really call these executive orders because it doesn't seem to be him really implementing or doing anything versus him trying to get the ball rolling on reversing or pausing some of Donald Trump's policies. But it doesn't seem like these don't seem to be like earth-shattering executive orders.
No, that's what I thought too when I read most of them. Continue. Let's hear them.
Yeah. Like so for example, it says the executive orders, and I'm reading this from BuzzFeed News. The executive orders will create a task force to review the Trump administration's separation of families at the border and an extensive analysis of asylum processing and the public charge rule. And so the public charge rule is kind of described as a wealth test for immigrants seeking green cards.
Okay.
I think we're all against family separation at the border. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's a good thing. Though I am kind of concerned with whenever they just keep creating new task force and, then another task force. And then next thing you know, you have Homeland Security being made and it's just a lot. So you have that going on. I think he also... The executive order also called for the Department of Homeland Security to stop implementing two controversial pilot programs, the Humanitarian Asylum Review Process, also known as HARP, and Prompt Asylum Claim Review, known as PACR. Those policies sought to quickly deport Mexican and Central American asylum seekers at the southern border.
Wait, so quickly what?
Deport.
Wait, read the whole thing again. Sorry. Not the whole last part.
So those two pilot programs sought to quickly deport Mexican and Central American asylum seekers.
Seeking asylum. Okay, so he's reversing that, you said.
Yes.
Okay. I agree with the reversal.
Yeah. And then one executive order established a family separation task force to identify and reunify all children separated from their parents by the Trump administration.
Yep.
And by the way, I can tell by the time we're not going to get to this, so just to let y'all know, there was like breaking news during this podcast that that woman, GOP Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, she was stripped of her committee seats over past comments embracing conspiracy theories and political violence.
Good.
That's the woman that we talk. Yeah, I don't really think Congress is the place of crazy. So
no, it's definitely not.
I support that. A second executive order called for reviewing several of Trump's policies that made it difficult for immigrants to seek asylum in the U.S., which forced thousands of immigrants to wait in dangerous Mexican border cities.
Okay. And he reversed that too. I agree with that. Okay. What did you think we were
it's saying that he didn't reverse that. So that's why I want to make clear here. The executive order is calling for a reviewing of those policies.
Oh, review. Okay, got it.
That is different than reversing. He is reviewing the policies.
Okay.
Now, a conversation needs to be had about immigration that I think many people are afraid to have, but I'm not, because I do not buy this black and brown coalition. Okay. I don't buy it. I think it's a house of cards.
What are you talking about? Go ahead. Let's hear it.
First of all, I don't think black people and brown people have this natural allyship that many black organizations like to pretend that we do, right? And so the phrase black and brown is used all the time. Oh, black and brown people, black and brown policies. We need to protect black. When did those people become our natural allies? And said who? Did we vote for this? Did black people get together and vote to have the black and brown coalition? I don't think so. So I'm asking us to really sit and think about, okay, what is our stance on immigration? Because I think we have been told what our thoughts on immigration should be, but that is different than us having a conversation about, okay, what is in the best interest of African Americans, and then making a decision on what our political stance on immigration should be.
Oh, okay. So what is your stance on immigration?
Now, before I give my opinion,
Oh God.
a distinction needs to be made. There's a difference between, and I don't know why I'm holding this in my hand, but a distinction needs to be made between illegal immigration and immigration.
Okay.
Two different things.
Yes.
Though my opinion is going to be the same.
Yeah,
I
what?
believe America should have a very, very, very restrictive immigration policy. And the immigrants that we do allow in the country, in my opinion, should be high skilled immigrants. I don't believe in taking all these refugees. I don't believe in taking all of these people who need help. No. Now, some of you might say, oh my God, Jabaya, you sound heartless. And yeah, I might be. But
I would say that too.
I'm sure you will. But here's the problem. Shannon can't push back on the merit of my argument. And here's the merit of my argument. Now, I don't know if Shannon cares about black men or not, but black men are considered, some of us are, low-skilled labor, right? And so we compete for jobs that don't require higher learning, but that are considered kind of blue-collar jobs, right? So they pay decent, although some pay undecently, but they don't require a lot of college education. Now, immigrants, and this is true of illegal and legal immigrants. This is why I made the distinction, but said that my opinion on both is similar. When you allow immigrants to come to the country who don't have a lot of education, but who have bodies, they then will compete against low-skilled African Americans in the labor force. And then what happens? It prevents an increase in pay because workers can't leverage and organize for high wages because guess what? There's always a new batch of low-skilled workers coming into the country, which makes it harder to negotiate. And by the way, before you guys accuse me of being racist, Bernie Sanders had the exact same opinion, which is why he was also, until very recently, for political reasons, against immigration policies because he felt that it cut the ability of workers to organize and demand higher pay. Now, to my logic, Shannon, you say what? Not your feelings, but the logic.
I know. And I was going to say that, yes, your logic makes sense, but sorry, it's hard for me to bark on this argument without bringing my personal feelings into it.
Go ahead. What are your feelings?
No, I understand and agree with your logic. I just don't think that it's right to keep people out of the country who are seeking asylum or I don't think that's right.
Even if it makes life for African Americans in the country harder?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
Because, okay, so you're saying that we shouldn't be in asylum, like we shouldn't take in any refugees from anywhere if they're fleeing from danger in their own country?
Shannon, we have awful communities in this country.
I mean, I know that, but I just don't think that it's fair. If I just feel like we shouldn't be turning people away who are trying to seek asylum from.
But why not? A country owes its own citizens before it owes.
I mean, yes, that's true. And that's why I said the logic makes sense, but I just don't think it's right. It's my own personal feelings, but I understand your logic and I agree with it. Not argue with it. I'm just saying it's all right.
But how did you develop these feelings? Because that's part of the problem. Is that Democrats are very good at making people feel a certain type of way, and so they vote. I'm just saying, you guys vote based off your feelings, even though logically you couldn't push back on anything that I just said.
I mean, I'm admitting to that. I said I agree with your logic.
Okay, so would you vote to limit immigration or would you vote to increase immigration?
I don't know. I'm on the fence. That's something I have to sit on.
That's very fair. Now, from a logical perspective, immigration is great for the country. It's just not great for black people. So from the point of view of the country, you were able to bring in more Americans, which helps offset the fact that America has a declining birth rate. That's number one. Number two, as you become a kind of a safe haven for immigrants, you are able to attract some of the best and brightest talent. Now, that would also be the case if you adopted my upper class. Shannon, are you? Oh, okay, you just still.
No,
That will also
I'm
be.
listening to you.
Oh yeah, that will also be the case if you adopted my, uh, you know, high skilled immigration policy, because you will be attracting the best engineers, the best scientists, the best whatever. So you will still have that, but but America will also benefit because you can continue this constant growth economically, even though the lives of your citizens don't improve at all. Right. That's how you end up in a case now where the GDP or the stock prices are surging, even though the lives and the pay of Americans isn't doing that great at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe, look, African Americans have we have to begin to really look at policies cold blooded. So, Shannon, I get Shannon has a good heart. I understand it. And look, this is all philosophical because I can make an argument that borders aren't real. Borders are imaginary. So the life of a Mexican is no different than the life of an African American, except there's an imaginary border that was created there. I can make that argument, but I believe that America owes its citizens help before they look to heal the world. Like part of Joe Biden's immigration, executive orders was examining the root cause of immigration so that we can solve that problem, which means sending aid and money to various Central American countries, mm-hmm. which I also disagree with because once again, we have problems here. Yes. We have people that need help here, mm-hmm. and it seems to be, and I'm gonna say it, that we spend significantly more money and significantly more time aiding brown people than we do helping black people. Okay. Now, I know that sounds triggering for some of you out there who believe in the black-brown coalition. I'm just not buying it.
Okay.
I care about us.
I see. It's okay. No, it's true. We do have a lot of problems that need to get solved here. We need to figure out the homeless problem. We need to figure out low income, poverty. All this stuff needs to be solved, and I feel like it's not getting solved. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and then one day we're gonna hash out my theory that the natural ally to the black man is actually the white man. But that's a story for another day.
I feel like we're just really. I feel like you're really trying to dig it in there, and I feel like you made a good point, and let's just leave it there. I don't think we need
I'm just saying. I don't think
we need to.